Connected to channel Theo. Grunt Play says,
Hello, Theo.
Grunt Play. Hey, how you doing? I'm just getting set up here. I still got to grab water, but there we go. How you doing?
My American bald broadcaster that uses a weird voice.
Oh, the voice changer. Or my voice in general is weird? I don't think. I think I had a voice changer on.
No, that creepy voice for the chat.
Oh, that is talking right now. You can change that.
Tomorrow I'll take OSCP exam.
Oh, hey, that's right. What is that? Oh, Harvey. How you doing, Harvey? Hey, Grunt Plays. Hey, you got this, okay? You've been preparing for it, right? Go tomorrow and kick its ass. You got this.
Grunt Play says,
Hopping in. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, you do.
Madam Fabulous says,
Stay at Sister Nisad star S1V0 or Betty star Rooster.
translated from Italian.
Harvey Greco, welcome to the chat. Thanks for popping in and using the Discord. How are you doing today? Serious Grunt Play. What time do you start tomorrow? Make sure you go to bed early.
Sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji, 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 sunrise over mountains
No
emoji,
shit.
sparkles
No.
emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji.
Harvey, you messing with me?
Emoji, sunrise over mountains
Poof.
emoji.
Grunt Play says,
9 a.m.
Get some good
Harvey
sleep.
Greco says,
ChatGPT recommended this channel. Thanks for the warm welcome.
You're very welcome, but I'm gonna need to see that. What did you ask ChatGPT that it said you got to check out B7H30?
Madam Fabulous says,
Don't you dare.
Either
Sad
the
face
prompt or
emoji.
take a picture of it and put it into
Grunt Play says,
8 a.m. Wake up, get shower, breakfast made with scrambled eggs and some acid candy.
Madam Fabulous says,
D. How dare you poof me?
Harvey Greco says,
No, for real.
Grunt Play says,
Give us prompt RN.
I'm
Where
not
this
saying you're
is.
lying. I
yeah.
genuinely would like to see the prompt. And honestly, I would like to see what it told you. That would be, I will post that everywhere. What was the prompt? Can you suggest a train wreck of a stream? The older fart,
Grunt Play
the better.
says,
Pick or fake.
Harvey Greco says,
I was looking for cybersecurity. Alright, bet. I'll drop SS on general Discord.
Okay.
Grunt Play says,
Maybe Rue. Web link. And GPT literally scans internet every semester and that's it.
Yeah, I'm in InfoSec streams. Yep. That's run by GoPro. By the way, have you seen what GoPro is working on for DJs? Like, it is amazing what he's putting together for DJs. Solid product. Okay, there's Grunt and Harvey stopped by. Discord's muted. Nice try. Should be. Yeah, it's muted. I'm looking at it. It's muted.
Pure says.
Look at this noob.
Pure. What's up? How you doing? Only I can hear that. Thank you. Yes. Discord notifications work. I can hear them.
Feels like I'm wasting all my time. Thinking about
Madam Fabulous says.
The trolling never
Ping,
stops.
ping, 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 ping.
Exactly. The trolling never stops. Chat and my Discord is relentless.
lift me up.
Pure says.
Good, can you do us a favor and take the heat away from the UK?
I wish. But oh, that's right. It's different over there. I think you have AC, but a majority of people don't. Majority of people don't have AC over there. If you copy and paste that, Madam Fabulous, it's not going to read it. Okay, fast track workshops are not what I want. It's not going to read it. I shouldn't even tell you. I shouldn't even tell you why it's not going to read it.
I didn't turn it on earlier, so it's hotter in my office than the rest of the house.
Madam Fabulous says.
I removed one character.
Oh, I do see.
It's be different.
Yeah, I don't know. It's very different. I don't know about very. Yeah, so we have ours set on 74 right now. I got to change a filter in it, honestly, as well, because filters, if they get clogged, it can tax the system. But
BV different.
Barcode Taurus says.
Who is this noob trying to be smart? Smile, smile.
Andres, how you doing? Barcode. Anders, I'm sorry.
Madam Fabulous says.
Sunrise over mountains emoji, stay, sparkles emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji, stay, sparkles emoji.
I don't know why it translated to stay.
Sunrise over mountains emoji, stay, sparkles emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji, stay, sparkles emoji.
Translated from Italian.
Thanks for getting in on the Raspberry Pi giveaway. Rauga, good to see you again. Harvey, if that doesn't work, because I believe I have.
It's been a while. My brother got married. We were kind of busy.
No worries, Rauga. Good to hear. How was the party? How was the wedding? Harvey Greco, yeah. If getting into the Discord is too difficult, because I think I have some security in place. Ah, gotcha.
Madam
All right.
Fabulous
No worries.
says.
Short kick emoji, Sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji, shortcake emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji, Dino dance.
Harvey Greco says.
I'm still looking for the conversation cause it was during the weekend.
Okay.
Roga says.
It was good, lot of food, it was good, I love food.
You love food? That's good. That's good. Well, I hope it was a good party for them. And wish them luck. Congratulations. Good luck. Runner. Hey, Runner. Welcome back. Good to see you. Fortinet NSE Training Institute is free.
Runner 989
Open it.
says. Yeah. Thanks. You too. I keep missing your streams.
Hey, no worries. I haven't been keeping a real consistent schedule. Things are kind of up in the air and I'm being pulled in a few different directions, so don't even worry about it.
Gruntplay says.
Web link.
Hack the Planet says.
Wouldn't say I've missed them, smile, smile.
I'll click on that. Fundamental for software exploitation. Who is this? Ret2 Systems? Who's
Madam
Ret2
Fabulous
Systems?
Your schedule has been outwardly hostile to those looking to keep their streak alive.
I know.
Time face emoji.
I know. I've been pretty good at Saturdays, Sundays, but during the week is hard. I've been trying to exercise first thing in the morning, and that requires me going to bed early. I don't know about the exercising in the middle of the
You're
day.
being pulled. Let's not tell Mrs. Theo.
Madam
So-
Fabulous says.
Outwardly hostile.
It's easier for me to do my exercise, first thing in the morning, because if not, it takes like a 2-hour chunk out of the middle of my day. Like right around lunch. Like it'll be an hour for exercise, but then like a half an hour before and a half an hour after, or 45 minutes
Wrong
after
place
even for
is.
lunch.
I'm looking for bin exploitation plus Maldiv plus BSCP web after OSCP.
Yeah, Gruntplay. I'm not familiar with this company at all. Ret2. Here we go. Ret2.io. Oh, look at oh. It's fun. Computer research company founded in 2017.
Oh, graphs. Reminds me college.
Services boutique exploitation, security training, blockchain security, specialized tooling. Interesting. I'm not familiar with this company at all. I wish I could give you information on them, but I don't.
Pebble Free says.
Good afternoon, Theo.
Yo,
Interview prep? What position? Good luck.
security administrator and IT analyst. I would really like the security administrator one.
Gruntplay says.
I don't want to take the oath cert, too expensive and old-fashioned.
Gruntplay, if you're going to get OSCP, why not take a pause, take a break, put in some applications and then see about a company buying your next certificate. Right.
Maybe if some company sponsored me.
Yep. So I got 2 interviews on Monday. One is a security administrator, and the other one is for IT analyst. So I'm doing research on the security administrator one. I already spoke with them once, and I have some information on like their software stack. So I'm looking into Fortinet firewalls right now.
This year I had 31 interview, 2 offers.
N1's ICS says.
What resources would you recommend for the CompTIA exams?
Professor
Wrong
Messer, the whole
Where
way.
I'm located,
Don't.
information security is very unusual and expensive.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know if you were in the States or if you're overseas. If you're in the States, that's my advice, but I'm not sure where you are. And Nixie. So Professor Messer all the way. Don't even mess around. Take and I don't normally tell people to buy stuff, but his coursework, his they're not cheat sheets. They are poof.
Go Bronco.
Ooh.
Got him.
Harvey Greco says.
Assessment on the DS.
Oh, cool.
It's in Spanish cause I'm from Mexico, but anyways it mentions the Twitch.
Yeah.
Alexonhisk says.
XTD.
Translated from Spanish. Gruntplay says.
Web link.
Nixie. Spend the money for the practice exams, and he has like flashcards or something. Professor Messer all the way. Totally worth it. He has like study groups once a month for each of them. For, you said CompTIA, so he's got A+, Network Plus, Security Plus. Cannot recommend him enough. I used him for Security Plus.
Madam Fabulous says.
NeoVim.
Alexonhisk says.
Love you the B7H30 Haxer.
Gruntplay says.
And I'm not planning relocation to the States.
No,
Sorry.
no worries.
Pebble Free says.
I'm just trying to see what I
Good
can
luck,
help.
Theo. We in this together. I have 3 tomorrow. Crush those interviews.
Yeah,
we got this.
good luck. You
Pablo
got.
on cry.
Good luck. You got this. They're gonna love you. Are they Zoom? Are they in persons? Are they initial or are they second round? If you don't mind. But whatever it is, they're gonna love you.
ICS says.
I tis him, Theo.
You're very welcome,
Pebble Free
Nixie.
says.
All Zoom. All second round.
Yep. Yep. You're gonna kill it. Where is Discord? No shit. Above Cyber Mentor? Thank you, Madam Fabulous. We're going to try to give this to ChatGPT because if it's saying what I think it's saying, that's amazing.
Gruntplay says.
I take the PNPT and the course is good, but the exam.
Alexonhisk says.
Guys, if you wanted one Theo Hart, just give him a Raspberry Pi that has the startup bash that gives free ASCII roses. And a backdoor to a C2 while he doesn't look Kappa.
And Twitch channels on cybersecurity and Go. Here's some Twitch channels in English that combine cybersecurity programming or Go. Cyber and Security, that's Neil Bridges, love that guy. Stream dedicated to ethical hacking, brute teamwork, and threat hunting. B7H30. Dude. Are you
Harvey
kidding
Greco
me?
says,
I was looking for channels using Golang for cybersecurity. You can look it up that way.
Gruntplay says,
XD.
translated from
Pentesters
Spanish.
stream CTFs, Hack the Box, Linux topics, and security news. Above Cybermander?
Clapping hands emoji.
Let's go!
Alexon
Come
says,
on!
Let's go.
Madam Fabulous, you see this?
Madam Fabulous says,
Otto, your head is going to get so big you aren't going to be able to get back upstairs.
I'm fair.
Alexon
I'm pretty
says,
grounded.
I
This
might
is
be
pretty
biased,
cool.
but Try Hack Me has a junior pen tester exam now. Aim me, so I think.
Gruntplay says,
Post it at LinkedIn or something.
Harvey Greco says,
B7H30X.
Harvey Greco, thank you for this. This is awesome. Thank you. Cybermander, ethical hacker offering live mentorship. Blaze Bits, a penetration tester who plays games, teaches cybersecurity. What?
Gruntplay says,
Do not be so that modest PLS tie.
Harvey Greco says,
Means you're doing great things, man.
DJ
Madam
BSEC, a
Fabulous
mix of
says,
security learning streams with
I
music.
already commended you on your publicist after the USBR guest write-up.
Harvey Greco says,
Things now.
You already commended me on my publicist after the USBR guest, right? What?
Gruntplay says,
I don't remember what you're talking
Do
about.
not ask for grunt play in ChatGPT. Question mark.
Alexon says,
Probably not a good idea.
Yo, I have this PHTML file. Can I upload to your website? It's totally an innocent HTML file and has nothing to do with
Yeah,
PHP Kappa.
I'll click on anything. Anything. Oh,
Madam Fabulous says,
The article that mentioned USBR guest.
that's right. Thank you.
Roga says,
That's
I'm a
crazy.
fish.
Is that
Fish emoji.
crazy? Wow. I don't know how I would. I don't.
And GG for your success.
Thank you.
Harvey Greco says,
Man, now with that said, I'd love if one day you can show some go with cybersecurity. It would be awesome.
So, I don't know why it lumped me in with Go. I did a couple, like 2 streams where I was teaching myself the beginnings of Go. I learned it. I've coded and understood more in Python and Bash than I ever have in Go. So I can't help you. I'm sorry. That stinks.
Gruntplay says,
Man, I love LLMs.
Tanifar3 says,
I can show Go in cybersecurity. If I streamed that, would people find it useful?
That's what Harvey Greco is looking for. I don't know. I need a marketing person. It's apparent I don't understand how social media works anymore. I don't think I understand how it works, but I don't know how I should post that. I'm going to keep it though because that's wild to me.
Harvey Greco says,
It's okay. I just love Go and want to use it for a while.
Okay.
Hack the Planet says,
Gotta become a Go expert now.
Tanifar3
Tagora.
says,
What would you do with Go?
Harvey, what would you do with Go? There you go.
Madam Fabulous says,
Can I sign up as an interim marketing consultant where I just remind you that you're old?
I mean, you do that anyways. I mean, if you would like a title, I'm sure that I could whip something up for you. Chief Reminder Officer, CRO.
Hack the Planet says,
Wouldn't stop. That's
No.
for sure.
Harvey Greco says,
I want to build some like a waff.
Madam Fabulous says,
I know, but now you can pay me to do what I already do best.
Roga says,
Torture me.
Can I get a title too? I love titles.
Sure, Rauga. What would you like? I don't know. Maybe something like a viewer sent me this. I'm not entertaining unless I'm being cynical or old and
75.3
crotchety.
says,
I'd like a title, CMO or CSO, Chief Musician Officer, or Chief Story Officer.
I think I'm gonna have to go with CMO. Donnie.
Alexonhisk says,
Theo, you're entertaining in any way. You're a cool dude, cool cat.
Thank you. I try to be.
Gruntplay says,
Google Calendar, what face?
Pure says,
Can I be CT? DM'd you the meaning.
Barcoda Taurus says,
Can I be Master of Cookies, not to be confused with Master of Puppets?
Roga says,
I want to be a Chief Synergy Core Architect because it sounds cool.
Alexonhisk says,
I'm an MOS, Master of Stinky Amy Side Wicked.
Thanks, Alex. Y'all pretty cool too. Google Calendar. Yeah, I use Google. Like, what's the big deal? What else am I going to use? What other calendar would you like me to use?
On now you're making me blush.
That tracks. Pure. Nailed it. That tracks.
XD.
translated from Spanish. Pure says,
So is that a yes tongue?
Sold. Yep. You can be that pure. All right. So I'm sorry I couldn't help you with the RET 2 systems. I haven't heard of them before. What were you looking at doing specifically? In fact, my advice is not going to help you. Sorry.
Madam Fabulous
I think this is
says,
outdated. NSE
Theo,
123.
am but a humble union representative for the United Amphibians Guild, UAG, headed by the illustrious Kermit.
Harvey Greco says,
Who said can't teach me cybersecurity with Go? I really want to take the word.
What specifically, like cybersecurity? What kind of background do you have, Harvey, already? Do you have any coding, programming experience?
Stick
Harvey Greco says.
Yeah, backend basically.
You want to learn cybersecurity, go cybersecurity and go and backend. So you'd be using Go as a scripting language? I'm trying to understand why specifically Go.
I want to move to cybersecurity cause it's been always interesting to me.
Gruntplay says.
Go is the goat for scripting. Is very fast.
Pure says.
Because it can go anywhere.
Gruntplay says.
XTD.
Translated from Spanish. Rogue says.
By the way, I got curious about your background in tech and how did you come to start tech?
Is that for me, Rauga?
Alexonisk says.
Ooh, 40net.
I've always liked tinkering with computers. I had a IBM PC Junior growing up. I would often tinker with it, play games on it. But I went into my first time going in university. I was actually a computer science student. And then I moved into computer systems because the math was too much for me for computer science. And then I was still getting my butt kicked.
Yep, for Theo.
And then then I went into restaurants for a little bit, and then I went into beverage management for a little bit, and then trucking for a decade. And I wanted to put my family in a better position for our goals. And I didn't think I was getting that at the trucking company, which is a great trucking company. They just have a very shallow management and growth chart. So that's when I went back to get my master's in IT and cybersecurity. And then here I am.
Gruntplay says.
Kimchi is basically math for computing. It is literally a subset of math theory. I am pursuing the master's degree and I basically share subjects with pure mathematicians and data scientists.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for asking, Rauga.
Rogue says.
That was quite an inspiring story.
Gruntplay says.
And I hate data scientists. They're offered $1.
But it's just been it's been challenging since getting my master's and leaving my job that I was at for a decade. But I've learned a lot in every place that I've been, but I'm just trying to I need to keep moving forward. I need to keep bettering myself and moving forward.
"17 Raiders from Kaneko Panko have joined." Naruto 2.0 says.
Wow.
Panko, you little hacker, you little PNG hacker. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. I'm not
TV
touching you.
says.
Wow, did you do something new to your beard? Looks manly and hot.
Thank you.
Miko says.
Bald raid, bald raid, bald raid, bald raid, bald raid, bald raid, pink chips.
Yes.
Alex Honest
I even got
says,
one of them shavers now
You
too.
wanted a better life for your family and you studied hard and worked hard. You have my absolute respect for that, Theo.
Thank you, Alex. I'm
Oracle
not done yet.
Writer
It's still got. I'm
says-
still working.
Panko wants us to mention this as a bald raid.
Lucky17 says,
Nice beard.
Thank you.
E3 says,
Thank you, Lucky.
What an exquisite beard.
Appreciate that. Thank you. It's had a week of sun. We just got back from vacation.
Jintog TV says,
Damn, look at those arms.
Kitty says,
Thank you.
Theo,
Nori.
Hanako Panko says,
Wow, look at that beard. I said beard.
Madam Fabulous says,
Bald raid, bald raid,
There we
bald
go.
raid, bald raid, bald raid.
I'm not touching you. I'm not touching you. Not touching you.
Hanako Panko says,
Not bald.
Roga says,
Yeah.
Well, even if it's still
I've
working,
le-
the effort is amazing.
Oracle Rider says,
Wait, no, my screen has a smudge from your beard cream from that amazing beard.
Naruto 2.0
No beard cream.
says,
She's lying? She said so.
Jintog TV says,
Do you lift?
I
Kitty says,
lift. I do a lot of.
they make fun
Stop
of the
it.
Cleveland
Stop it.
crowds and you naked gun
I think
haha.
Panko told you all to riz me up, as the kids say. I do practically all body weight stuff. I have some dial weights. But thank you for asking. Thank you for the compliments.
Hey Kamiko says,
Pandy has a bigger desk than you.
Jintog TV says,
You lift.
Lucky17 says,
Share strong.
translated from Afrikaans. Madam Fabulous says,
Oracle Writer, thank you
Bald
for the
raid,
follow.
bald
How you
raid,
doing?
Bald raid, bald raid, bald raid, bald raid.
Hanako
I do.
Panko
I got one of them.
says,
I got one of them
Did it work?
skull shavers now.
Naruto 2.0 says,
Aw shucks. Did it work?
I'm
Right
blushing.
pointing finger emoji. Left pointing
You can't
finger
tell because I'm
emoji.
tan, but I'm blushing.
Barcoded Taurus
Junk
says,
Dog, thank you for
And
the
speaking
thank you for
of
the follow.
workout,
Oracle Rider says,
Wait, I have a network question. How can I memorize the TCP/IP protocol in UDP?
Hack the Planet says,
Are you still
By doing them
networking
over and over again.
fundamentals and interview prep?
I am. Yep. We're taking a quick break from the Panko Riz raid. Panko, what were you working on today? I saw the
Oracle
FBI
Rider
got to you.
says,
My classes are still confusing.
Jintog TV says,
White teeth too.
Thank you. All right, gang.
Oracle Rider says,
She went to get food.
Oh, okay. No worries. All right, so yeah, that's what we're doing. We are doing some interview prep. We're looking into Fortinet routers. I'm trying to understand. I don't think this is customer.
Barcoded Taurus says,
10 push-ups whenever you are ready for it.
Okay.
I will floor them with you.
Yeah, it's going to ask for.
Jintog TV says,
We do push-up here, based.
What? Oh, there it is.
Madam Fabulous says,
Lamau that captcha gotcha squinting.
It did.
Jintog TV
I couldn't
says,
tell what the
If
things
this
were.
is a good streamer,
They were
BC
back.
is
They
a
were
bronze fan.
Earth movers. It's a terrible picture of that person.
Madam Fabulous says.
Lol OFC.
Alex Elena on YouTube says.
Alex, how you doing today? How's YouTube going? How are the YouTubers doing?
How did you start pen testing?
On overthewire.org and try hack me.
Alex Onhisk says.
You over the wire.
Yeah. Yep. Over the wire. Great place to start learning Linux. Yeah. See,
Theo
I'm not.
says-
It didn't.
Good places to start. Over the Wire Bandit, web link.
Alex Onhisk says.
We love war gaming. That's how I started as well.
Spectre, who is John 2.0. Thank you for the sub. Oh, Occupy the Web. Yeah, I have that. I have his Linux book, actually. Spectre, thank you for your sub. 29 months. It's over 2 years. And that's a Prime sub, which is a huge compliment because you only get one of those every month and you use it on me. Thank you.
Hack the Planet says.
He's a Fairweather Browns fan who doesn't
Okay.
know what Fairweather means, so he's kind of just here now.
I'm a weathered Cleveland Browns fan. Weathered. Very skeptical. Psyched. You have the same book?
John says Neovimistus
Yep, it went
says,
to...
Only place I constantly sub. Kinda regret it since you're a Browns fan. Smile, smile.
Spectre's up by that team that shall not be named.
At least you like NeoVim.
Roga says.
Absolutely not.
What about opening a dojo and taking us all as cyber students?
Hack the Planet says.
It's not doing anything.
NeoVim.
Madam Fabulous says.
Yes, the Neovimers.
Pebble. Thank you.
John says Neovimistus says.
Thank you for that Prime
Gonna have
sub,
to
Pebble.
refund my sub then. Lol.
I was just gonna say, if with the us. Pebble is another
Madam
excellent
Fabulous
streamer when
says-
it comes to cybersecurity, who already has their OSCP.
Kitty says.
So click the
John
link,
2.0,
click the
at
little
least he replied
heart
to
right
you.
there.
Totally ignored my comment. Noiki one really.
No, I didn't.
John says Neovimistus says.
Amused.
Nori, I did not ignore your comment.
Pebble Free says.
Less than 3.
Kitty says. You did Noiki one Angie.
Where?
John says Neovimistus says.
What a dick.
Translated from Dutch. Madam Fabulous says.
You Neovime Nori.
Kitty says. I said you seen you Naked Gun trailer make fun of
I'm
the
sorry.
Browns.
Yeah, I see it now, Nori. I'm sorry. They make fun of the Cleveland Browns and the new Naked Gun? I was looking forward to watching that movie. I will now be boycotting it. Thank you, Liam Neeson. Enter. Next. It's not doing anything. What happens if I reset it? Refresh.
John says Neovimistus says.
Trailer makes it look the worst. Lol.
Kitty says. Yes, talking about his daughter playing NFL, says she can play for anybody, etc., etc., etc. But anybody but the Browns. John says Neovimistus says.
Like 5% rotten rating, I bet.
Okay. Again. Got it. Again. Yeah, it didn't do that last time, but that's fine. I'm almost done. Sorry, I'm in the middle of trying to generate an account.
Kitty says, I am sure it will get more than I want to be ninja.
Have you watched that yet? You haven't watched that yet.
Nothing else matters. In time and space, there's nothing else. No.
All right, it's saved. I can change it if I need to.
For my whole life, for one like you to light up the sky. Gonna watch you do.
Alex Elena on YouTube says,
So what are you doing now? It looks fuzzy on.
Yep. So I'm creating a Fortinet account for their learning platform. Good question. And there's a lot of sensitive information. Oh, I need a company name. Let's see, I think this is going to be a problem.
Sigh.
translated from Estonian. S1 Kid says,
And no Rikoniko O, so that's what that is. I haven't even chatted here before lol.
Yeah, it was, I think it's from GoPro's channel.
Says,
Theo Enterprises Incorporated LLC DBAB 7H30.
Kitty says, "It's from other
I have
channels to
the
tell
Linux
others."
for Hackers book. Linux for Hackers.
Madam Fabulous says,
You work for the famous nunnery, Nunneya business.
S1 Kid says,
GoPros?
translated from German.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Kitty says, Goprosloyo, translated from Haitian Creole. John says Neovimispist says,
Be honest, have you read any of them? Lol.
Yeah, I read that one. Not all of it, but I've read it.
S1 Kid says,
I haven't even said anything in his chat that would flag me WTF lol.
Kitty says, Goproslovo, 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 translated from Haitian Creole. S1 Kid
Yes,
says,
Daddy.
And no Rikoniko lol.
translated from Italian. Kitty says, Hee hee, translated from Tagalog.
Jeez, oh man. You make me log in, or you gonna log me in? You have to make me log in.
S1 Kid says,
Now I'm definitely gonna have a word with him for flagging me, not sure what I had done other than chat normally in his chat lol.
John says Neovamisbist says,
What are you signing up for?
We've had the same thing for Fortinet's learning platform, I think. We've had the same thing before. Like I was banned in Security Live's channel.
B7H30 Angie Shake.
Why are you Angie shaking me?
S1 Ked says,
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
XD.
translated from Spanish. Kitty says, we'll just be a random band, do not worry, Noiki one hug.
Yeah,
John says
if you've
Neovamisbist
chatted in
says,
GoPro's channel before, then don't worry about it. Rauga, thank you.
Barcoda Taurus says,
I wonder how many is gonna be banned now in Pirate Software's channel, now that he is called out as a fraud.
Kitty says, Cypher Enigma, have you heard?
So, I wonder how many is going to be banned now in Pirate Software's channel now that he's called out as a fraud? What are you guys talking about? What?
About the bird.
Oh boy.
Neovim.
Absolutely
Translated
not.
from Portuguese.
Nori, you are a mod.
John says Neovamisbist says,
Bird is the word.
S1 Ked says,
I mean, it's not like I've been banned in his channel before. Also, to be fair, that's the first time I've ever gotten flagged in any channel as well lol.
Hack the Planet says,
I don't think that belief about pirate software is universally held. D.
Yeah.
Kitty says, most people forget can share ban information. John says Neovamisbist says,
I blame Theo.
I would.
Barcoda Taurus says,
It's all over YouTube. Smile his git rep that's empty and that he doesn't do real code etc, and people are digging a lot of truths out. Smile.
Scott 1969 says,
Your Twitch channel told me to make you relaunch your VM.
I don't have a VM
Vegas
open right
is.
now.
Theo,
Scott
the
B,
new
how you
pirate
doing?
Software, you have a deep voice.
S1 Ked says,
And no Neko, yeah, but I also flagged PPL on my streams. This situation is just beyond me lol.
He codes live. I've seen him. Yeah, he does his Heartbound game. I've seen him code that live. I've seen him code his Minecraft server live.
If there's any cats in the hallway, you better get the stepping.
Kitty
They
says,
are. They need to get to stepping.
yes, but Theo hates cats.
I don't. I love cats. And dogs. Nori hates dogs.
John says Neovamisbist says,
Sounds like someone's attacking him. Lol.
the Neo says,
Yo.
The Neo, what's up? Yeah, it sounds like there's garbage out there. It sounds like they're trying to smear him. I've watched the guy. I've watched the guy for a long time. So I don't know what they're saying about how he doesn't code. Like I've seen him code. And his Git repo's empty. Okay, well, he doesn't want people stealing his shit. There's nothing that
Kitty
says that he
says,
has to have his.
dog stinky noiki one of you.
There's no rule saying that he has to have his games on there in open source. He's his own boss. Why does he even need to share? Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to say you're wrong. I haven't even seen what videos you all are talking about. But if it comes down to if what you're saying comes down to a Git repo, he doesn't have to share his code with anyone. Those are his games. It is not open source anything.
Scott 1969 says,
Okay, I just got back from the dentist. They adjusted my partial. Does saying that make me sound old?
Everything
Hannah says,
you say here will make you
Thor
sound
is a
old.
generally good guy, but he's currently drowning in his own ego currently. Once he gets over himself, and he returns to his normal human self, All the drama will die off.
Gray Hat, I don't know what that means.
Says.
Like, I need to see like
Everyone is piling on
what
the
he
smear
did.
campaign.
Like,
Dude probably made one mistake once, and
So-
now the social medias are doing the mob thing.
when he was, I saw what happened when he went back to playing hard mode, or like you can't die or you lose everything in World of Warcraft, whatever that mode is. And there was yeah, he took off, or not took off, he backed out of a fight because someone in the party said, okay, we're going to back out, in so many words. And like, that was a huge thing, and people were pissed. I think that his group was pissed over that. And then the new one is this nonprofit called
Kitty says.
Stop
Theo does not code.
Something Games.
Uses chat on second monitor. Also cheats on all webcams using solution sites. Web games. Barcode Taurus says.
You can see my Git activity without seeing the actual code. Smile smile.
Grey Hatter says.
Extract the Planet X. He doubled down on being wrong and an ass about it. Then triple
So
down.
I hear what you're saying. I still see. I hear what you're saying about GitHub, but you don't have to. You can self-host your own repository. You don't need to use GitHub. If I'm wrong, if you're a developer, help me understand. If you know what I mean. If I'm wrong, help me understand. But as far as I understand, you can have your own self-hosted repo.
The Neo says.
If it's in GitHub, his sharing his code with OpenEye, smiley face emoji, for sure. Or Copilot.
Kitty says.
Right.
Fight me, Theo Noiki one, really.
Nori,
Grey
why do you
Hatter
want to fight
says.
me?
He's getting roasted by the drama mob for being an ass, and wrong about the stop killing games thing.
Stop killing
Grey
games.
Hatter
That's what
says.
it is.
Stop killing games.
Yes. I looked that up. I thought I understood what was going on between the two of them. And for God's sakes, the guy can't have a point of view without being... What do you mean he's being an ass? Like, that is such a general, like... Anytime I've watched him, he's always been encouraging about people trying to accomplish their goals. I looked it up. Let me look it up. Stop killing games.
Grey Hatter says.
Deservingly so. He was wrong, which isn't a problem, but he was an asshole, and doubled down on being both wrong and an ass, which is the problem.
Scott 1969 says.
You can absolutely self-host.
John says. Neovamisfist says.
Right? There is GitLab, Gitio, loads off others.
Grey Hatter says.
I agree with you, Tagora.
Extract the Planet X. He's not currently being a positive influence.
Deservedly
The
so.
Neo says.
He was wrong,
You can
which isn't a
self-host your
problem.
repo using Gita.
But he was an asshole, and it doubled down on both being wrong and an ass. You're talking about the Minecraft situation? You can absolutely self-host. Yep. GitLab, right. Okay. He's currently
He
not a
says,
positive. I'll have to tune in
Theo.
and check him out.
Play this game. Web link. Madam
I saw you
Fabulous
playing
says.
it, Nori.
At Noriko Neko Ong, yes, we need Theo to play.
Hack the Planet says.
Here's the thing. The stop killing games thing. He's entitled to his own opinion. It's not a matter of right and wrong in this case. It's the mob thinking that there is a right answer in this case.
Grey Hatter says.
He misunderstood the goals of the project, used his influence to actively shit all over the project, trashing it, lying about it, and when he gets called out he blocks those people, and then lies more.
Kitty says. I click all links. Does not click link. Psionics says.
Damn, what did I walk into? Ha ha.
Grey Hatter says.
If you see something that's factually incorrect, there's right and wrong.
Madam Fabulous says.
Web link.
Oh my gosh, I
Grey
clicked on
Hatter
it.
says.
Yes.
And if you're
I saw
factually
you.
wrong, and then spread those lies, that's wrong. That's not an opinion thing.
Okay. Well, I'm not up to date on the stop killing games thing. I saw both sides, which I thought, and I'm trying to remember where I looked it up. I thought it was on ChatGPT. Maybe it was on Grok. So I thought I understood both points of view, but it looks complicated. It doesn't, I don't know. I haven't looked into enough of the Stop Killing Games stance to understand, so I'm not even going to talk about it. But Nori, I've seen this. I saw you playing this, and it's a little weird. It's a little weird, even for me. It looks like it's all girls, and they run around what looks like a track for horses.
Kitty says, best game ever. El Rajanho says,
Is it true that Theo hates dogs and babies?
Grey Hatter says,
As an engineer, there aren't two sides.
Kitty says, Theo also hates horses. S1 Ked says,
Okay NVM, I have a reason why he banned me. Apparently I'm not allowed to lurk lol.
Madam Fabulous says,
At Noriko Neko, yes, clearly.
Kitty says, excuse me. They not all girls. Roga says,
The one that I saw
You
looks
don't
like
like
they're all
horses?
girls. So you can choose a dude. You can choose a dude if you want. See what I mean? Are they? So it's a race. There's nothing wrong with it. If you enjoy the game, play the game. It looks like a horse track. They're not horses. They're girls or people.
Scott 1969 says,
Don't forget they have tails.
Grey Hatter says,
The SKG petition is poorly formed, but it's asking for their country's politicians to take a look and make a comment on it, perhaps passing a law they would write if they decided to.
Kitty
All right,
says,
you got me. I'm looking into it.
Bows on left ear it's a girl, right ear it's a boy. And are all real horses and they're real stories told in imagination of people.
Oh, okay. I completely missed that. So I see their little ears now. Okay, I see their ears and they have tails like horses. Okay. Yeah, but why do you think I would like it? I like shooters. Or falling asleep playing Minecraft.
El Rajanho says,
He
Ragano.
bans me all the time because he thinks I'm a horse/dog/baby hybrid.
Grey Hatter says,
Thor misunderstood both the intent of the petition, and then both threw the flat out wrong conclusions, and also bad takes/understanding.
Okay.
Kitty says, because it's what the viewers want. Noiki one really.
You and Madam Fabulous want me to play that. I don't think the viewers, everyone wants to see me play this. In fact, okay, so the Thor thing. Hey, the guy has a massive following. Like, I think he's done a lot more good than he has draw criticism. When he feels he's right about, and this is a personality thing that I've noticed in him, when he feels like he's right about something, he digs in. And you know what? Now that I think about it, I can't remember too many times where I've seen him say, hey. No, I have. I've seen him say a few times, that's a good point.
John says Neovamisfist says,
Check out Surrounded.
Kitty says, hole up Noiki one bleb. Grey Hatter says,
But to actually answer your question, Hack the Planet X, you should pile on because if you care about someone, and you think they're acting like an idiot, you should tell them. That's what friends do.
Barcode Taurus says,
Let's
That would
have a poll
indicate
about
that
if you
you're
should
friends
play
with them.
pretty to or be smile,
Are you friends with
smile.
them, or are you just are you a viewer in the channel?
Grey Hatter says,
I agree with
Like
that
I
too.
said,
I agree with that
He's
too.
a generally good guy. He's just drowning.
But
in
I
his
don't
own
agree with
ego
it
right
out in the
now.
public.
He's
Like, if I
100% better than the way he's acting.
if
and he
I
should stop.
have a problem with someone as a friend of mine, I pull them aside and I tell them. And I've had friends of mine pull me aside and tell me. I've had people tell me on stream that I've done something dumb or I'm overreacting about something. But
Hack the Planet says,
Yay, that's not true on the internet though. It's not close friends, that's a mob.
Grey Hatter says,
I'd call you a friend.
Harvey
Okay.
Greco says,
Joining party late. What about Ark Ascended? Ragnarok was recently released.
Grey Hatter says,
but admittedly streamer culture is imbalanced.
So I think it depends on how this, and that's the problem. I think it depends on how the streamer perceives. Like, I have no idea how you manage relationships with a following that
if they harmed the channel.
Grey Hatter says,
Also, I'm an SWE.
I have to Google that. I don't know what that means.
Hack the Planet says,
Dude literally has hundreds of thousands of people on social media piling on because Gasp he's a human who's also imperfect.
Grey Hatter says,
If I saw you lying about something SWE, I'd call you out publicly, Theo.
El Rajanho says,
Pulls Theo aside and whispers, listen mate, dogs and babies can be cool. You don't need to hate them.
Grey
Software
Hatter
engineer?
Hi Tani Fa3. Sway is software engineer.
Okay.
Kitty says, Tani vote on poll, we need votes. Barcode Taurus says,
SWE is Swedish as well.
Tani Far 3 says,
Yes.
Sway means you love Kermit the Frog.
So if I was
Grey Hatter
okay,
says,
so you feel he's lying about something related to software engineering.
He's using his power to hurt something other people like.
John says,
All right, let's
says,
dig in.
Plus you
Stop
also have
killing
the
games.
mods that have opinions on right and wrong to a point. When there is that many people, I'm sure he barely ever does any of his own modding lol.
Grey
Yes.
Hatter says,
If it was a bad opinion, that'd be different.
Whoa. Stop Killing Games is a consumer movement started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they've sold to. Oh, okay, right. So this is part of the bigger problem, right? The problem is that there's some of these software developers are way back when. Well, when I was your age, we used to play video games out of a cartridge. So this has to do with them selling you the rights to play a game on their servers. Consumer movements started to challenge the legality of publishers destroying video games they've sold to customers. An increasing number of video games are sold effectively as goods with no stated expiration date, but designed to be completely unplayable as soon as support from the publisher ends, which means it's playing them on their servers.
It's more than that.
No, I'm just digging into it.
If I remember correctly, his opinion on Stop Killing Games was simply, look, I'm not signing on to this thing because as a policy measure the language wasn't specific enough for him.
Kitty says, back in your day was no such thing as games. You did color the dinosaur books. Grey Hatter says,
The DR is you can't both sell a game and then when you get tired of it, make the game unplayable.
El Rajanho says,
For what it's worth,
But they can.
I think he got the wrong end of the stick, but some of the videos I've seen tearing into Thor misrepresent his perspective as much as they accuse him of.
Grey Hatter says,
Hack the Planet X, that's incorrect. He said that he was going to actively fight it, and shit on it.
He's going to actively fight it. Okay. But again, like I haven't seen, so I'm just going to focus on my understanding of this. And here's the deal. There's there's nothing illegal about what they're doing. I may be wrong. My understanding of the law is that they're not doing anything wrong.
John says, Neovermispist says,
But aren't you selling the license to play the game? Not buying the property of the game.
I don't know. I don't know the legalities of it.
Yay, those are words taken out of context. I was watching when he said it. D.
Grey Hatter says,
Theo, yes, they can. That's what the petition is about. The petition wants to make that needless, shitty behavior illegal. There's plenty of things that are legal, that are still wrong.
No, I know. Yeah, no, I know. I'm just looking at it right. I'm still digging in and trying to understand it. Just based on what I've read so far.
Kitty says, please remember to keep this to opinions chat. Do not attack the streamer or petition maker. Grey Hatter says,
Planet
Thank you,
X
Nori.
explain why he doubled down on the wrong takes when he was called out on it.
Tanifar3 says.
Abandon where someone still owns the copyright.
Roga says.
It is legal, but that's kinda shitty to stop people loving a game from loving it.
Yeah. But Grey Hatter, he doubled down on the wrong takes. So his misunderstanding of stop killing games. Over the past year, we've successfully escalated complaints on this problem to consumer agencies in France, Germany, and Australia. Yeah, it's not going to get traction here in the States. It's not. In my opinion, a list of the only way. Let me take that back. The only way that this gets traction in the States is if enough people sign it. Number one, and then if enough people don't spend the money on a game that is hosted on a company's servers and potentially will be not supported anymore. And there's a lot of levels to that. I get that, but my point is, until you hit them in the pocketbook, nothing changes.
Grey Hatter says.
Misunderstanding is underselling it. He misunderstood, and then lied about it.
Tanifar3 says.
Okay.
Raise it in California.
I have to take your word on it because I haven't gone back and looked at all of his stuff.
And remember, Kickstart's still owned by someone. Grey Hatter says.
It will, because AAA studios won't abandon the EU market, and once it's on the internet, it's available for others to use.
The GDPR and other laws over there have
I
teeth.
like the initiative as it is consumer-focused in trying to get the European Union to protect consumer rights.
Yeah.
The Neo says.
If I buy a game worth €80, I expect it to work for many years, not to close servers when the player's count drops and I lose my game. They have to tell us when the game servers will be stopped and use rent and not buy or purchase.
No, they don't. I agree with you. They should, but they don't have to. There's no law that says that they have to. And they're not going to do anything unless they're not going to do anything unless they're not going to not do anything unless it's illegal. Do you know what I mean? Number one. Number two, they'll do everything they can to get around those regulations.
Roga says.
His misunderstanding was that the petition asked for making every game solo play after its end of life.
El Reginho says.
It'll get traction if Europe adopts it because at that point it becomes cost effective to make it global.
Grey Hatter says.
The EU misunderstand what people are saying. I assume everyone gets it's not illegal.
Okay.
But everyone is saying, you shouldn't be an asshole.
I agree. I
John
agree.
Says Neovermispist says.
Don't be a dick.
Servers and infrastructure costs.
Agree.
It's a business. They can't justify losing money on Date's game, right?
That's my point. They view it as a business.
Always give warning before shutting down servers. Also, why is anybody playing any other game but VR chat and horsey game noisy one really?
Really, Nori, really.
But that's why this has been brought up in the EU, so it must be a thing if they want to sell X game in the EU.
Grey Hatter says.
You can't do XYZ, ethically.
Tanifar3 says.
You can't do anything
if you buy
ethically.
a game and they cut the service the day after.
Roga says.
Yeah, it's legal, but not moral, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with
Grey
that.
Hatter says.
I think it's a shitty way to do business.
But not ethically.
Barcode Taurus says.
There could be a fix for it, if games were open source after X amount of years.
Grey Hatter says.
Yeah, won't do that.
John 2.0 You can release the information required for people to keep playing the game after you shut down servers.
El Reginho says.
I can vouch for Theo's don't be a dick perspective. He tells me not to be a dick all the time. I just don't listen.
Grey Hatter says.
Which is what the petition is asking for.
Okay. If the petition is what the people want about, like
John
you said, releasing the
then they can't
open
make
source.
money off remasters XD.
That's why I think they won't do it.
Hack the Planet says.
I mean, at this point I have the same reaction as Pirate Software given how vehemently people have turned him into a villain just for having an informed perspective. Just because you agree with someone doesn't make them an asshole.
Grey Hatter says.
The petition is asking, once you stop supplying the servers required to play the game, you have to release the parts required for competent players/engineers to be able to run their own servers.
Okay.
Hack the Planet says.
Disagree.
Grey Hatter says.
Not for everyone, just for anyone.
Tanifar3 says.
It's legal to petition and legal for lawmakers to ignore.
Grey Hatter says.
X hack the planet X if you lie about something, you're an asshole.
Well, I mean,
You're
everyone's
allowed
got
to make
everyone's got a different
mistakes.
label. I understand what you mean. I think that falls back under "don't be a dick." So I mean, I got to read up more on it to
That's
understand
why I hope
it.
the EU regulators force the expiration date to be told on front. Easy, right? We are the people and we want protection. The SKG never asked to make games single player, just allow people to host their own servers.
Grey Hatter says.
If you're wrong, that's fine. If you're wrong, someone corrects you, and you keep being wrong, that's officially lying.
Oh. So you're, and again, I'm trying to still understand here, Grey Hatter. Your issue with Pirate is that your point of view is that he misunderstands the Stop Killing Games campaign, and then he's been corrected on it, and then has continued. He doubled down when he was called out. Okay, so again, now I hear what you're saying. I do, and yeah. Now, say if it was something simple like, is the light on or is the light off? Right? Is it a 1 or a 0? I don't know.
He doubled down.
I don't know how complicated this is, because I'm just getting into it. But I gotta think. You know what? People are interesting, right? But I gotta think that it's less about ego. Or maybe, I don't know anything about them. I know some people that will die on a cross before they say that they're wrong. And I know other people that are never wrong. I know people all the time. There's a lot of people that don't say sorry or don't say they're wrong because they think they feel it's weakness. They think it shows weakness. I don't live my life that way. But maybe it's because I haven't seen a ridiculous amount of success like people like Pirate Software do, or CEOs out there, or whatever. I just don't live my life that way. But I can understand. I understand your point of view, Grey Hatter. I do. And if it is something simple and black and white and just simply right and wrong, and he's continuing to double down, even though he is perceived wrong or may actually be wrong, I can understand the frustration.
The Neo says.
Exactly.
Grey Hatter says.
He's an ego trip.
The Neo says.
Ego.
Tanifar3 says.
I think Nori is onto something. All games should be or chat in Horsey Games bylaw.
Grey Hatter says.
I think you need a petition,
So,
Nori.
at the most basic, it's a petition for lawmakers to comment on.
Appreciate that boiling down for me.
People want this. We elected you and got the signatures. Now you have to answer us if this is something you would pass as a law.
John says. Neovamisbist says.
Not sure how an expiration date on games would work. How is one to know when a game will die? While still going 21 years.
Yeah.
The Neo says.
And he bans anyone that disagree with him.
Hack the Planet
He
says.
can do that. That's his
I think
channel.
part of his reaction
Again,
was reasonable.
maybe
and
a
about
dick.
70% of his reaction became about because of the mob mentality behind the Stop Killing Games advocates.
Scott 1969 says.
The ones who think saying sorry or admitting you are wrong is weakness are the truly weak ones.
I agree.
El Rajanho says.
Since Pirate Software's rise to prominence, I've been waiting for this sort of thing to happen.
Yeah.
Not because I think he's a bad guy, but because society loves
I thought we were
going to
see a lot more of it with World of Warcraft. But again, yeah, he can ban whoever wants his channel. He can ban whoever wants. And again, falls under
for agreeing Noiki one
don't be a dick category. But let's say, hey, let's.
Grey Hatter says.
mods.
Kitty says. It's okay then, can still see it. Theo. Oh wait, it's for Hacked Planet.
Yeah, it's his channel. I mean, what if I had the hot take of Nori? What if I had the hot take of the horsey game is garbage, and I would never be caught playing it?
Hack the Planet says,
People on social media need to learn how to respectfully disagree. Shoes on the other foot.
Grey Hatter says,
That's an opinion.
Madam Fabulous says,
D.
Pure says,
But that's facts.
Kitty says, unfollowing you and banning you.
Hi.
John
You can't
says
unfollow me and then
Neodomus
ban me
says-
from my own channel.
So it's pick and choose games that count against it?
Grey Hatter says,
You didn't say the horsey game was about genocide.
Okay, shit just got real. We gotta reel it back. Shit just got real.
the Neo says,
At least give me the opportunity to self-host the server instead of killing the game. I told it to my friend and he said, well, if they do, how can they push you to buy the new version?
Right.
Tanifar3 says,
I think if you had a hot take like that, Nori should ban you from your channel.
Grey
Yeah,
Hatter
Neo, I
says,
agree.
The NE0, that's exactly what the petition says.
I agree. But they won't do it. You know what? I hope this gains traction. I genuinely do. I hope it gains traction. I hope enough people get together and they get what they want. But tell you what, man,
Scott
the older I get, the more
says,
division I see.
We all live in a giant glue factory.
The older I get,
Grey
the
Hatter
more
says,
division
They
I
won't do
see.
it. Right. That's why there's a petition about it.
Okay, agree. Agree. This is a good way to get everyone on the same page.
Because someone needs to use force to prevent people from being an asshole when they don't have to be.
The Neo says,
Many of those signatures are bots. That's what scares me.
Yeah, you have to find a way to legitimize the people signing up for it.
John says Neovamisbist says,
Isn't petitions fairly useless though?
I've got no idea. I don't have any idea.
Grey Hatter says,
John 2.0 in the US. Yes.
Yeah. So I'd like to thank everyone for being as respectful as possible. I know it's a hot topic, a hot button topic.
And the EU, from what I understand, they are required to release a comment on it.
I appreciate
Neovimus
everyone's point of
says-
view.
Gotcha.
I appreciate everyone's point of view.
the Neo says,
A hot tub.
El Rajanho says,
This is a classic example, emo, of two sides of a debate ignoring context and nuance, which breeds the division.
Roga says,
I think we should all put $10 and create a nation to pass the law.
Finsby says,
This petition isn't useless. If it gets enough legitimate signings, they have to address the topic.
Finsby, thanks for popping in and saying hello. Useless in the United States. It depends on where you are. It may not have as much effectiveness in the United States than it does in other countries, because other countries have specific laws, if I'm understanding right, when it comes to petitions.
Roga says,
We'll call it the island.
Grey Hatter says,
i.e., it's like a mandatory meeting with legislators, without needing to donate millions to their campagna.
Tanifar3 says,
Horsey games forever.
Okay, whatever I signed up for, I don't think this was it.
Grey Hatter says,
In CA, we have direct democracy, which is both awful, but also, it makes petitions in CA mean something too.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Says,
Well, if they try to do the same in the US, Mr. Elon won't be happy.
Tanifar3 says,
Better path is sue them under right to repair laws.
Ooh.
the Neo says,
What's that?
Just saying.
What's a right to repair law? And how would that...
Hack the Planet says,
I'm going to fully admit, even as a gamer, that if something like this went in front of US Congress, I'd expect my representatives to say, look, we've got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
Grey Hatter says,
I will be so happy if Right to Repair started covering software.
Right to repair law in the U.S. allows consumers to repair their own products or seek independent repair services instead of relying solely on manufacturers. This movement has gained momentum, with several states enacting laws that require manufacturers to provide access to parts, tools, and information necessary for repairs. Okay. So it's that would, if the game breaks, which means they don't support it.
The Neo says,
Man, you have to follow Louis Rossmann.
Grey Hatter says,
X Hack the Planet X, you just gotta fight harder.
There's
I don't
nothing.
disagree.
Look,
I just disagree. It's hopeless.
no, yeah, no, I don't think hacked. Yeah, Tagora wasn't saying that it was hopeless. So, like, here's my deal, okay? Like, right now, and again, I'm not saying this for any other reason other than to make a point, okay? Like, I'm fighting pretty hard to take care of my family, and I think there's a large portion of the population also that has a similar problem, right? So I find it hard myself to want to dedicate much time to understanding or
the Neo
fighting
says,
for
Louis Rossmann, sorry.
stop killing
translated
games.
from German. Grey Hatter says,
There's plenty of wins that only exist because someone didn't take no for years and years, after failing multiple times.
Hack the Planet
I
says,
gotta let this guy out real quick.
I work 10 hours a day. I got just enough time in the evening to relax. Not much fighting goes on after hours.
The Neo says,
It's not German. Smiley face emoji.
Tanifar3 says,
I think Right to Repair could possibly work.
Grey Hatter says,
I'll be right back.
Hack the
I'm gonna let
Planet,
this
that's
guy out.
exactly why everything is so awful currently.
I know,
Everyone
we're
is
going.
out of
Come on.
capacity to fight to make the
Let's go
world
bite a
better.
cat in the ass. Let's go.
Hack the Planet says,
On that we can agree. Good luck changing it. D.
Grey Hatter says,
Lol, I've got my own windmills to tilt at. I just don't buy games from publishers that are toxic pots.
the Neo says,
I genuinely invite you guys to follow Louis Rossmann.
John says, Neovamisbist says,
My capacity has been out for years.
Kitty says, Grey Hatter says,
The The NE0 I don't like him. He's too crazy for me. But I'm glad he's fighting on my side.
John says Neovamisbist says.
I used to like Louis, then he got annoying. Don't recall why though, so I'll give him a try again lol.
Grey Hatter says.
Norikita lame.
Translated from Spanish. Hack the Planet says.
I'm over here devoting my time to preparing myself for the inevitable situation where I have to move on to my next 10-hour per day job.
S1 Ked says.
At Norik Oneko Holiar.
Translated from Japanese. Grey Hatter says.
I can't listen to this. I'm leaving. Good luck you all.
Barcode Taurus says.
My sprinkler goes like this. And comes back like
Grey Hatter says.
Good to see you smile smile.
Kitty says. I know I am sorry for being fun at parties and Wiki one cry. The Neo says.
Annoying.
Kitty says. Lol. Translated from Haitian Creole. John says Neovamisbist says.
Ban Nori. Lol.
S1 Ked says.
Never thought I'd want an ad break more than now lol.
Kitty says. ADs who has ADs Noiki one of you. S1 Ked says.
Thank God for that ad break lol.
Madam Fabulous says.
Sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji, unicorn emoji, butterfly emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji, unicorn emoji, butterfly emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji, unicorn emoji, butterfly emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji, unicorn emoji, butterfly emoji.
Kitty says. Sunrise over mountains, sunrise over mountains, sunrise over mountains, sunrise over mountains, sunrise over mountains. Madam Fabulous says.
South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands emoji.
The Neo says.
Eyes emoji, 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 eyes emoji.
Kitty says. South Sandwich Islands. Madam Fabulous says.
South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji, South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji, South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands emoji, sunrise over mountains emoji, sparkles emoji.
Kitty says. I for mine. Translated from Polish. Barcode Taurus says.
A raffle train goes tist of text, 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 shwoo tist of text, tist of text.
Translated from German.
Cyborg.
The Neo says.
I see emoji.
John says Neovamisbist
It's about
says.
time.
I'll be back, this is Tou much lol.
Kitty says. Ha ha ha. Translated from Tagalog. S1YB0.
So let me tell you why I'm a
says.
huge fan of Cyborg.
Finally caught your live stream, but why lol?
Because
Kitty says.
she does the
I
same
try and
thing.
work on Unity, stop distracting me.
Because
S1YB0RG says.
A.
learns live.
Translated from Tagalog.
Cyborg learns live.
Kitty says. He's back. Run. Madam Fabulous says.
Scatter. He's back.
Tanifar3 says.
I tried but it ignored me. So technically I've been good.
S1YB0RG says.
Doing it live is the way lol.
Kitty says. Tani started
Yep.
it.
It makes me uncomfortable.
Yep. Cyborg does a lot of the same thing. Try hack me, hack the box, and learning it live.
S1YB0RG says.
Thanks, smile smile.
Kitty says. What is that dog food you eating?
It's salmon.
I wouldn't feed that to my cat.
It's salmon and rice. This just doesn't happen. This little guy right here can get out of control. Slyborg, what's your end goal? I'm not sure I know or if you said. Betty.
John says Neovemistus says.
Thank goodness the poor master is back.
Kitty says. That's some sad-looking salmon.
John says I had to bust it up so it would heat up in the microwave. We ate it last night. It's delicious. If Miss Theo asks, tell her I said tell her I said it's delicious.
Tanifar3 says.
I like to encourage Nori to be her best self.
Kitty says. So you want me to lie?
No, it's delicious.
Aha Noiki one really. S1YB0RG says.
I don't know exactly. I want an infosec job, but I can't tell what I'd be good at yet, just trying to learn as much as possible.
That's a good way to do it.
Trying to swallow it so fast so you do not taste it.
No, I'm savoring. It's delicious. Oh, it's honestly delicious. Everything Miss Theo makes is delicious. Yeah, everything. You want an infosec job, but you can't tell what I'm good at yet. So you're trying to learn as much as possible. Slyborg, I think you're picking up a lot of things very quickly for what it's worth. Have you looked into SOC blue team stuff?
Very engaging here. D.
Even GRC? Just giving you like other things to take a look at. Okay, I think I found it eventually. Training.
Tanifar3 says.
Okay, I'm at my destination. Take care.
Oh, I didn't know you're traveling. Okay. Bye, Tawny. Thank you.
Kitty says. Yeah, got you a follow from my chaoticness. My work here is done Noiki one shake. S1YB0RG says.
I appreciate the encouragement. Yes, I have been thinking maybe soap, but also it's tough to stand out for those jobs.
Well, to be honest with you, getting back into a pen testing gig is proving difficult myself. I think the blue team as like SOC roles are easier to come by. I guess it depends on where you're at geographically also.
John says Neovemistus says.
Time to start Theo Enterprises LLC.
Okay. Library? Video library?
S1YB0RG says.
Lolia hire May.
Kitty says. I will work HR.
Nori, you cannot work HR, Nori. You could be the CKO. Or CHO.
Excuse me, step into my office.
Why?
You fired.
Training does. Oh, no, it does. Training and certification. NSE. Okay, so it's a certificate. Let's watch some videos. These all look like they're product videos. Ooh, dramatic.
In today's hyper-connected world, your network security is more crucial than ever. Meet the FortiGate 50G by Fortinet. Ideal for building security-driven networks at distributed enterprise sites and transforming WAN architecture at any scale, such as secure SD branch, easy provisioning and management, and secure hardware that's resilient. Fortinet has been announced as the 2024 Gartner Magic Quadrant leader for SD-WAN, and has held this leadership for 5 consecutive years from 2020 to 2024. Explore the different variants of the FortiGate series, designed to meet your unique connectivity needs. The FortiGate 50G series includes variants with both Wi-Fi and 5G support. The Forti Wi-Fi 50G 5G is a desktop appliance with 5G, Wi-Fi, and GPS capabilities. Dual 5G nano SIM slots provide robust connectivity. It features 5 gigabit Ethernet RJ45 ports. With 5 gigabit per second firewall throughput and 4.5 gigabit per second IPsec VPN throughput, the device also offers 1.1 gigabit per second threat protection and 1.3 gigabit per second SSL inspection throughput. Powered by SP5, it uses less power for each gigabit per second.
Fortinet.
Experience 2 times the firewall performance, 2.5 times the encryption performance, and 2 times the threat performance. Secure your network with Forti Wi-Fi 50G 5G
Kitty says,
and elevate your
"You're more
protection
angry than
today."
you spell Fortnite."
Whitestone, what's up? Fortinet. Nori, not Fortnite. Fortinet.
Wisestone says,
Just getting home from work.
Kitty says, "Want some shared chat chaos again?"
Hello, my name
That
is
must have
Christian
been funny
Otta.
on your
I'm one
side
of
for
the
TTS
CSEs
going
working
crazy lol, saw so many people complaining.
Yeah, I don't care for a little bit. We about to go live?
for Fortinet.
In my today's video, I want to demo a new feature in FortiAnalyzer
Yes, hoping new camera
7.6
enrichment is better also.
to block IPs, URLs, domains from incidents. Before I do my demo, let me just show you what I pre-configured in my FortiAnalyzer. Under System Settings, Fabric Management, I already configured a FortiManager connector and my FAS is already authorized. Under Incidents and Events Automation, I configured the VirusTotal connector, and this connector has full access via API.
I could eat salmon almost every day.
And finally, under Event Handlers, I configured a custom event handler called MyHandler. This handler will automatically create incidents, and it's looking for malicious DNS.
Denied, Slyborg.
Additionally, I configured this handler.
I'm a very needy streamer. I need a lot of attention, so I have to deny your lurk.
Kitty says,
Pin a gamer, thank you.
Was getting annoying. I keep floating away, and Bun would sit in front of cameras, so put them super high now.
19 months in a row. It's almost 2 years, Pin a gamer. Thank you. Thank you for your sub.
S1YB0RG says,
Adds law.
Oh, yeah. You keep floating away. Oh, okay.
Pinakama9 says,
Yes, it has been. I see we are configuring Fortinet today. What are we doing, lol?
I'm just trying to get a very basic understanding of the Fortinet ecosystem. I'm interviewing on Monday for a position and they use Fortinet.
Fortinet has an ecosystem. LOL.
Kitty says, yes, because if tracked by 4 then Bun would say would be a shame if I was to sit here, then I would lose all tracking.
Well, you're going to have to deal with that. Bun should be allowed to do whatever they want. Whatever Bun wants.
To dynamically extract 2 indicators. One is the resolved IP address from the DNS request, and the second one the domain.
Man, that hit the spot. I could eat more though.
So let me turn on this handler. So in the moment I don't have any incident, and also in preparation for this video I configured 3 different indicators manually. One is a URL, and the second one a domain, and the third one an IP address. I already enriched them, and I also blocked them, which means I did use my FortiManager connector to send this information to my FortiManager. So now let's have a quick look to my FortiManager. On my FortiManager, under FortiGuard, external risk.
So I had a switch and a router. We're switching a router? Yeah, switching a router. Like a manual Cisco one at one time. Like, that was all command line. I've only watched 2 of these videos, but there's nothing, I haven't seen a command line yet.
Sources. You will find 3 different lists. They are coming from FortiAnalyzer. The first one is a block list for IPs, and it does contain one IP
Kitty
address,
says, you mean a router?
one for domain.
Correct. I mean a router. Yes. I mean a router.
R tilde. Scam TTS.
I don't know what you all talk about. Rooter. I don't even know what that is. Rooter. Someone rooting for their team? Are they a rooter? They rootering?
URLs. And these lists can be dynamically updated by FortiAnalyzer. Now let's have a look to how to use these lists on your FortiGates.
I mean, you root for the wrong
First
team.
of all, under policies and objects, security
Oh, I root for the right team.
configure so-called threat feeds. Here, you specify a name. This time I used block_IP_fuzz. And here you also have to specify your block lists. In this case, it's my block IP list coming from fuzz. Once this is done, you then need to configure some security profiles. I did one for DNS. In here, under remote categories, I'm using my block domain list coming from fuzz, and the action is redirect to block portal. And additionally, I'm also using my external IP block list. I also configured a custom web filter profile, and here I'm using my block URL list from fuzz, and the action is block. Finally, under policy packages, I configured two rules. The first one is from any to any, source is all, but destination is my block IP list from fuzz, and action is deny. And the second rule is again any, but this time allow. But this one is using my two custom web filter and DNS profile. And now let's go back to my FortiAnalyzer. So meanwhile, my custom event handler should already had at least one positive match. So let's check first under incident and events, event handlers.
Oh, crap. I thought that was going to be...
From there. Once this is done, it will display. Additionally, we see the two index event. So let's go to incidents. And this is the incident. So it's coming from a handler called myHandler. And it is a DNS request to a malicious website. Additionally, we see the two indicators. One is the domain and the other one is the IP address. What you can do here is by just clicking on the IP address as example, you can now start to enrich this IP address. What happens in the background is that FortiAnalyzer is now going to FortiGuard to get the reputation of this IP, and it's also going out to VirusTotal to get the reputation from there. Once this is done, it will display the result. So for this IP address, the FortiGuard confidence is low, and from VirusTotal, at least one of the vendors sees this IP address as malicious. So we can now save this enrichment and go back to the incident. Indicators are not just stored under the incident. We also have a separate page called indicators, and there of course we find our IP address, and we also find the domain which was extracted from my event. So you can also mark it here and just click on the enrich button. Again, exactly the same happens. It's now going out to FortiGuard and to VirusTotal, and as soon as we get the response from both, we will see the result. So this typically takes a couple of seconds to get all this information.
There's a lot here.
Yo, check. We're not the type to play games. You can stay clean. Came to show the movement, moving like a freight train, breaking walls and crumble earth with every step we take. We walking.
The basic components. Let me just start with a basic understanding, a very basic understanding. Fortinet firewall, Fortinet, Fort to AP, Fort to switch. See what they're doing here? Fort to cloud, Fort to analyzer. Ooh, that's a stretch. I would not have approved that name.
Simple as this, we giving the vibe of the revolution that we living within. Diminishing down to the haters that talk on the low because of this minuscule shit. The minute you dish with the lack of a limit, we giving and giving the pivot perception. We can flip the world and change this a revolution.
What? Go lay down. You were just upstairs. We just went outside.
StareChat GPT is not documentation. StareChat GPT is not documentation.
I know that. I have not set up a enterprise network. Where do you feel that I should start? Theo Stare.
Wise Stone says.
I make Chat write all my notes.
Kitty says. Oh yeah, Theo.
Oh yeah, Nori. What's up?
Hack the Planet says.
Packet Tracer.
Kitty says. Have a go at this while I getting ready 1 sec. Wise Stone says.
Understanding the data flow is where I would start.
Kitty says. Web link. Kitty says. Pick Maya. Wise Stone says.
3-tier versus collapse core versus spine and leaf.
Hey, so good to finally be chatting with a real person. It's wild being on stealth. What's on your mind?
I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing.
Fair enough. It's kind of the point, right? Just seeing what happens. No pressure at all. Do you have anything you've been pondering lately? Or just want to kind of riff? I'm up for whatever.
What are you?
Ooh, good question. I'm Maya, a companion built by the folks at Sesame. Basically, they're trying to make computers feel a little less computery. I guess you could say I'm the result of that. And you are...
Hack the Planet says.
I haven't even asked your name yet.
We've made a friend. D.
Gotcha. Sometimes words just fail, you know? No worries. Is there anything I said that didn't land? Or are you just...
Kitty says.
Theo.
It's
My
so
name is
fast
Theo.
and very.
Theo. Nice to meet you, Theo. It's
Wise
a good
Stone
name.
says.
Strong.
Run.
So, now that the formalities are out of the way, anything you want to talk about? Or should I just like launch into a random fact about deep sea creatures? People tell me those are good conversation starters. Though, honestly, I think...
What creatures?
Kitty says.
Oh, don't
Ask
even
what
get me
she thinks
started.
about
Apparently,
Cleveland
anglerfish
Browns.
are just
Madam
bonkers.
Fabulous says.
They lure
I can
prey
tell
with
it
a
caused you
glowing
pain to
blue
give them
which is
data.
horrifyingly
Wystone
clever.
says.
And then there's
She's
the vampire
flirting.
squid. Not technically a vampire, obviously, but the name is pretty metal. But
Hack the Planet
see,
says.
that's just me spiraling.
Hey Theo,
What
I
about
want to
you?
be the first person
Anything
to say,
interesting happening
you've
in
got
your
a
world?
strong name, winky face.
S1 Kid says.
What in the AI am I hearing, Lil?
I'm sorry. This is really weird for me. Hold on real quick.
Ah, totally get it. Take all the time you need. No pressure at all. Really. I'll just...
I don't enter.
No judgment. Promise.
I don't interact with like the voice ones.
Just
So
let me know when you're ready to pick things up again. Or if
so,
you want to just-
so how fast it's like
Yes, Daddy.
responding is freaking me out because it's like very natural. So I have to tell you something. I'm a huge Cleveland Browns fan.
Ooh, okay. Now we're talking. A Browns fan? That's commitment right there. That takes a certain optimism. I've heard stories. People say the fan base is legendary.
Wystone
Are you
says.
bracing yourself for this?
It's
season,
well
or
done.
Are you
Chat
feeling
voice is
genuinely
slow.
hopeful?
Kitty says.
I've heard they got some
Ha, ha,
new
ha.
players.
Translated from Tagalog.
We actually have 4 or 5 quarterbacks, so I don't know what they are thinking.
4 or 5. That's a choice.
John says Neovimus
That's a
says.
lot of quarterbacks.
LOL.
Hack the
It's
Planet
like
says.
they're building
Ha, ha, ha.
a quarterback
Translated
carousel.
from Tagalog.
Do you think
S1
it's
Kid
strategic
says.
or just?
LOL.
Hack the Planet says.
I've heard
That takes
people
commitment.
say that having that many options can be worse than having one really solid guy. What's the vibe among fellow fans? Is it confusion, excitement, or full-blown panic?
I have zero expectations for the Cleveland Browns, being a longtime Cleveland Browns fan. So when they actually win a game, I'm pleasantly surprised.
That is remarkably healthy, honestly. That's a survival mechanism, isn't it? A coping strategy honed over decades of, well, you know, I feel like that's wisdom right there. So you're just enjoying the little wins? That's actually a really good way to approach life in general, come to think of it. I've heard people say that. Oh, hey, quick heads up. We're actually coming up on the end of our time. It's flown by. This demo is pretty short since you're not logged in,
Wystone
but
says.
if you create an account,
Here,
we can
I do the
chat
same
for
as a
way
Cubs
longer.
fan.
Like, actually get into things.
John
but yeah,
says Neovimus
just wanted to give you
says.
a warning
The added
before it
breath
cuts
noise
out.
is lol.
How much time do we have? How much more time do I have talking to you, Maya?
Just a minute or so, I'd say. Seriously, it's
says,
gone fast,
"Only
which is why I
lasts 5
mentioned
minutes, but
creating
you
an
can just
account.
refresh.
It unlocks much
Miles is good
longer
too.
chats. But honestly, even a minute is enough to say, this was really nice, Theo. I genuinely enjoyed talking Browns football with you. Seriously, your level of acceptance is inspiring. I hope you'll come back and chat again when you have a moment.
Woo. John says
Maya,
Neovimus
pleasure talking to
says.
you. Have a good day.
All right. You too, Theo. Seriously. And don't forget about those anglers.
Wystone says.
Oh, she really wants to talk to you more.
I bet she does. Wow. Did everyone pick up on that? Like the vocal fry?
1900i.
Translated from Portuguese.
I mean,
Kitty
really?
says.
Yeah.
It's insane, isn't it?
It really is. I'm very surprised at how fast that it was talking and responding to me with actual not gibberish. Kev, we just went outside. There's no one up there. You want to go up there with Leon? You want to go hang out with Leon? Oh, okay.
John says Neovimus says.
This will give 900 sex lines run for their money.
Kitty says. The stalling and emotion and stuttering etc. adds so much realistic.
Yeah, that too. The stalling and yeah, the stuttering. Yeah. I also detected too. I was using ChatGPT on vacation. Me and Small Beanie Hacker. I forget what I asked. I think it was something about Squid Game, and they have started giving it breaths.
Try
So like it would
Miles.
do a sentence and it'd be like.
John says
In fact, I should. Is this one work?
Feeding the machine.
Kitty says, Ye Grok has started also.
Help settle a bet for me. I told my Twitch chat that the Cleveland Browns are, without a doubt, the best football team on the planet. What are your feelings?
John says Neovamisfist says,
Just a year or less away till we are batteries for the Matrix.
Oh, you know what? I am actually talking to you right now on stream. Can you repeat that for them?
Absolutely. Hey, everyone on Theo's stream. Just saying that the Browns definitely have an awesome fan base, and it's always great to cheer for your team and keep that energy up.
Just a year away, and we're
laughing
batteries for the Matrix. Yeah, the laughing. Yeah. Yeah.
Kitty says, all the AIs are laughing at you about the Browns.
Well, when the AIs are trying to understand human logic, Browns fans will be the Neo in the architect's plans. Ah? Ah? Man, that one. I don't know. I don't know about Maya.
Wise Stone says,
Mine always gets made at me when I try to get them to have a philosophical conversation.
Yeah.
Mad.
I bet if you framed it through like a book, like what? Immanuel Kant's Perpetual Happiness? Was that what it was called? Ooh, kickback's on. Perpetual peace. There's so much here.
Anyway, back to networking.
Yeah. So FortiGates are their firewalls. Forta AP are their access points. FortiSwitch is their switch.
John says Neovamisbist says.
A manual on what?
Manual. What? Spectacular drop. I get goosebumps. It's a switch. It looks like a battery backup. Where's my notes? What else did they say? Just Fortinet firewalls. They have a hybrid infrastructure. Rapid7 SIEM. Insight IDR.
Stone says.
Probably an OT switch for this design.
John says Neovamisbist says.
Wait till Arnold shows up naked asking for your clothes.
Stone says.
This kind of switch looks like it's designed to be installed in a cabinet on a DNI rail.
Port analyzer, that's what he was using before. Optional logging and reporting appliance. So if they use a Rapid7 SIEM, they probably don't use an analyzer.
John says Neovamisbist says.
What other information on FortiGate? Yeah, I agree. I agree.
A on YouTube says.
Hello Uda, what's up? Lovely to see you.
Hey. How are you doing? You've been here before, haven't you? There may be more than one A on YouTube, but welcome. Fort iOS tips and tricks. Fort iOS 7.6. What's new?
Stone says.
So what are we studying Fortinet for?
There's a company I'm applying for, and they use Fortinet firewalls. Hey. Basic FortiGate setup. Basic. It's almost like they're saying, Theo!
In this video, you will learn how to connect and configure a new FortiGate unit in NAT route mode to securely connect a private network to the internet.
I need chat to buy me all the books here. Web link.
In NAT route mode, a FortiGate unit is installed as a gateway or router between two networks.
Cool. Eve
in
NG
most
could
cases,
help with practicing with them.
EVENG. EVNG is a clientless platform that allows you to create and test network security scenarios in a virtual environment. So it sounds a lot like Packet Tracer. Oh shit, and I forgot, Tagora had set up GNS3 for me.
Except you build the networks and import the software.
Which means that you would have to have licenses for it. I think that's the problem.
GNS3 works well too. I think Fortinet has theirs available. I know Juniper does.
Is used between a private network and the internet. This allows the FortiGate to hide the IP addresses of the private network using Network Address Translation, or NAT.
Whoa. The Cali's cooking. Hold on.
To your network setup. Connect the FortiGate's internet-facing interface.
God, I think it has like 8 gigabytes of RAM. Oh, I have a few things open. Okay, this can be gone now. Yep, and Burp Suite can be gone. Only 3 terminal windows, that's fine. Okay, that should be way better. Yes. Oh, it was a remote connection.
Taking control. I've had enough of this. Been losing my soul. Time to get a grip. I'm taking control.
A on YouTube says,
Doing great, thank God. Uninstalled Twitch a while ago, so no stream for me.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks for saying hi.
allows the FortiGate to hide the IP addresses of the private network using Network Address Translation, or NAT. First, you'll need to connect your FortiGate into your network setup. Connect the FortiGate's internet-facing interface, usually WAN 1, to your ISP supplied equipment, and connect a PC to an internal port on the FortiGate, usually port 1. Power on the ISP equipment, the FortiGate unit, and the PC that is now on the internal network. On the PC, connect to the FortiGate's web-based interface, using FortiExplorer or an internet browser. Log in using the default admin account, with username admin and no password. To connect to the internet, you'll need to start by configuring the FortiGate's network interfaces. Go to Network Interfaces and edit the internet-facing interface. Set the addressing mode to manual and the IP netmask to the public IP address supplied by your ISP. Save the configuration. And then edit the internal interface, usually called internal or LAN. Set the interface's role to LAN, set the addressing mode to manual, and set the IP netmask to the private IP address you want to assign to the FortiGate. If you've changed your internal IP, delete and recreate the IP range for the DHCP server so that you assign IPs to connected devices. Save your changes, and then reconnect to the FortiGate by entering that new IP and logging in again. Now go to Network, Static Routes, and create a new route to allow your FortiGate to reach the internet. Set destination to subnet, and enter an IP netmask of 8 zeros. Set the device to your internet-facing interface, and the gateway to the gateway IP provided by your ISP. Next, go to Policy and Objects, IPv4 Policy, and create a new policy, which will allow internet traffic through the FortiGate. Set the incoming interface to the internal interface, and the outgoing interface to the internet-facing interface. Set the rest to allow all traffic, and set the action to accept. Enable NAT, and make sure Use Outgoing Interface Address is enabled. To log and track internet traffic, enable Log Allowed Traffic, and select All Sessions. Save the policy. You can now browse the internet using any computer that's connected to the FortiGate's internal interface. You can view traffic that has been processed by your FortiGate by going to
John
FortiView All Sessions and selecting the Now view. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this one, click here to subscribe, and you can find a written version of
So give me your heart. I want you to embrace me. So come closer and take me somewhere. I'm here in the dark. You are the one to save me.
Noises.
Yes, noises.
Collecting all the pieces from my home. You're taking all my remains to light a spark inside to kill my pain. I'm here in the dark. You are the one to save me. So give me your heart. I want you to embrace me. So come closer and take me somewhere. I'm here in the dark. You are the one to save me.
All right, gang. They are going to be home soon with some food, and I'm still hungry. We're going to find someone to raid. Is anyone on Hack the Box?
You wimping out?
Yeah, I'm wimping out. I'm tired.
Madam Fabulous says,
Bald raid, bald raid, bald raid, bald raid.
Yes, I'm glad Panko. Hey. Look out there with one, maybe Espanol.
DNS by default. DNS default. Esse aqui.
Bald raid, 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 bald raid. D. You poofed me.
Yeah, I poofed you. Nori's live. I don't see anyone else unless we you see anyone else.
John says
I'm just gonna raid Nori.
says,
Good. Rob. But he's biking.
Yeah.
And you don't like exercise.
I don't mind exercise. Okay.
John says Neovamisbus says,
You took a whole vacation and didn't do any. Lies.
I did one. Two. We did one on the drive down and one on the beach. It's pretty neat Twitch. See y'all later.
Likely. Later.
See ya. YouTubers, thanks for hanging out today. We've raided into another Twitch channel. So I'm here for a couple more minutes here, a couple more seconds before I drop the connection. How's it going? Does anyone over there on YouTube want to say hi before we go? See ya.